Hey guys, welcome back to the Homeschool Objections series here at Arrows and Alphabets. If you're new here, I am Natalie. I'm a homeschool mom of 4, and I am doing a 6-week series right now where I am taking apart different homeschool objections that I hear commonly and that were suggested to me by you guys on social media. So, if you are just joining in with this series, I hope that you will click on the playlist and watch it from the beginning. If you enjoy what you see, give me a thumbs up on this video, subscribe to my channel, and be sure that you ring the bell for notifications. So the fourth objection that we are going to talk about is, I don't know where to begin. How do I choose homeschool curriculum? How do I know what's right for my child? These are some big ones, guys. If you're already a homeschooler, you probably have already worked through these, but there's a chance that you don't feel like you found the right curriculum and you don't know where else to look. So I hope that today I can help you with answering these questions and give you some resources to find the answers that you're looking for. So the first part of this objection was, I don't know where to begin. So the first thing that I always suggest to people when they ask me about homeschooling and where to get started is to look at your state laws. You need to know what is required of you as a homeschool parent. You need to know if your state requires you to have a cover school, or in some places it's called an umbrella school. In my state, that was required up until about 5 years ago, and it's not anymore. So there's even people here who think that is required of them, but it's actually not. So be sure and look into your local laws for your state. You can check on Homeschool Legal Defense website. It's hslda.com. I'll link that in the description box. You can start there, but I would also just look at your state's laws independently as well. So once you have read over the laws, if your state requires a cover school or an umbrella school, I would look into locally what's available. Usually umbrella schools are churches. I don't know that that's always 100% of the time the case, but at least around here, it's usually through a church. And so you need to see what the churches offer for your cover school, what they require, because sometimes they have additional requirements on top of what your state requires. What is the cost involved? Usually those have a cost. There are some that don't require a cost. And what does that cover school provide you as the parent? So for me, we don't use a cover school for several reasons. One is cost. I feel like it's just not worth it for me to spend that extra money. And some of the schools here want to approve your curriculum, and some of them require additional meetings throughout the year. And for me, those are just things that I don't want to add to my plate. I chose to homeschool because I want the freedom to teach my kids the way that I feel is best for them. So I don't want to have to answer to an umbrella school for my curriculum choices. And you know, it's just a personal choice thing. I feel comfortable turning my paperwork into the state. Some people don't, and that's okay. If you don't feel comfortable doing that yourself, then of course go through a cover school and let them handle it for you. But for me, that's just not something that I feel is necessary for my family. So once you know your state laws, you know what options are available to you for cover schools if they're required. You need to find curriculum. And so this is a really a big thing that people worry about is are they going to choose the curriculum that fits their child the best? Are they going to choose a curriculum that they're able to teach to their children? Is it going to require a lot of extra work, or is it going to be open and go? Is it going to be really expensive? You know, there's all of these things that go along with choosing curriculum. And so the first place I would suggest is to go to KathyDuffyReviews.com. I will link that also in the description box. And this is just a really good place to get started. There are hundreds and hundreds of homeschool curriculums on here that have been reviewed by Kathy Duffy. She also offers a book of her top, I think it is now 102 curriculums that she recommends. So you can go in there and look through and kind of narrow it down to some curriculums that you think you might be interested in, and then you can take it a step further and go on YouTube and watch reviews from other moms who have used the curriculums and narrow it down even more. And just know that, like, no matter how many reviews you read, no matter how many reviews you watch, until you use it for yourself, you're probably not going to know if it's the best one for you. And that's okay. At this point, I've used 3 or 4 different curriculums over a 4.5-year period of homeschooling. And I used to feel bad about that. I used to think, oh my goodness, I shouldn't be changing curriculums this much, or I am spending too much money on curriculums when I don't ever order curriculums that cost a whole lot. But I just had this guilt about it. And my husband just encouraged me that it's okay to nix something that isn't working and try something new, because the whole point of homeschooling is to be able to cater to how your child learns. And so if something isn't working, toss it out and start with something else, and give yourself permission to do that. It's okay if you switch curriculums. It's okay if you switch curriculums in the middle of the school year. I have done that. And when you think, oh my goodness, I'm switching in the middle of the year, this is going to mess my kid up. Actually, for me at least, it helped my kid. She began to flourish in subjects that she was struggling with. So don't be afraid to toss out something that isn't working. And then 2 more places that I forgot to mention to learn about curriculums is homeschool conventions are a really great place to learn about new curriculums that you haven't seen before. It gives you the opportunity to actually put your hands on it and flip through it and talk to usually the writers of that curriculum or someone who works for that company. So they can answer your questions, and it also gives you the chance, if you go to one of these conventions, to talk to other moms and see what has worked for them. And you might find someone who has a child who learns the same way as your child, and they might have suggestions for you that you didn't know about or that you had not thought of. And then the last suggestion I would have is, if you have homeschool friends, go to their house and look through their curriculum. I've done that before. I love to do that because just for instance, this year we're using a history curriculum that I had never heard of before. And I asked some friends of mine, hey, what are you using for history? And I went and looked through different people's curriculums, and I landed on the one that we're using, and we love it. And if I hadn't have asked my friends and said, hey, can I come look through your bookshelf? Can I come look at your curriculums? I wouldn't have found this. So don't be afraid to do that. Also, if you ever feel like you're lost when it comes to this homeschool thing, or you don't know where to search for something, always feel free to reach out to me. I don't have the answers to everything. I've only been doing this for 4.5 years. And this is a learning process for me too. But if I can be an encouragement to you, or if I can try to point you in the right direction to finding what you're looking for, I would love to do that. So I hope that you'll be back with me next week for week 5 of this series. We've just got 2 weeks left, and I just really hope that this has been encouraging to you. If you know someone who you think this might be helpful for, please send them this video specifically if you think it will help them, or a link to the playlist so that they can check out the whole series. Because my goal here is to encourage parents to know that they are capable of homeschooling, and that if they are scared to be obedient to the call to homeschool, that there's nothing to fear, and that they can do it, and that there is this beautiful community of homeschoolers out there that want to encourage you. And if you would just lean into other homeschoolers and lean into the Lord, you can do it too. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.